So over the past few weeks, I've been feeling pretty overwhelmed. And I decided to take this time to put together a process that I could use to stop feeling overwhelmed at any given moment in time. I've been using this for the past few days now, and I've noticed a significant improvement in my ability to stop feeling overwhelmed and then get started on what I need to get done for that specific day. And I think the reason why I've been feeling overwhelmed is because I've been spending a lot more time than I usually do on social media, news, YouTube, and I wanted to, first of all, find a way to cut that down and also find a way to just deal with feeling overwhelmed so that, immediately I can implement a solution that can get me back to a state where I feel more calm, collected, and I can actually enjoy the moment and not be so caught up in my head all the time. So one of the first things I do when I'm feeling overwhelmed is I do an exercise that helps me to return to the present moment. So this consists of taking a few deep breaths followed by some sort of stretching. Usually it's just stretching my arms like that, or even stretching like some of my fingers as well if I'm typing or spending a lot of time on the computer. So just by doing this exercise, I found that I'm able to slow down my mind and reduce the amount of thoughts that are racing in my head. Next, I jump into a quick check-in routine, and this consists of kind of taking a second to get a sense for what I'm feeling. And I ask myself a few questions. Am I hungry? Am I a bit sluggish right now? Should I take a nap? Should I just, call it a day and just go to bed if I'm doing this at the end of the day? So just by doing this quick check-in, I can immediately gauge if there's something that I can do to make me feel better right away. Oftentimes I find that I'm not eating enough throughout the day, so one of the first things I do after doing this quick check-in is I go and get something to eat, grab a quick snack like a banana, and I'll just feel great right away. So just by asking myself these questions, I can get a better understanding of what I need to do right now to feel better about myself and also have the energy that I need and the focus to start working on things that are on my to-do list. So after taking the time to check in on myself, grabbing a quick bite to eat, maybe doing a quick 5 to 10 minute workout, I jump into a brain dump. So this is actually a concept that I got from a Mel Robbins video on how to stop feeling overwhelmed. I watched it about 2 weeks ago, and I've been using this pretty frequently now, and it's helped me tremendously in just getting a better understanding of what's actually going on in my mind and what I can actually do to start feeling, more organized and more focused right away. So one of the things that Mel Robbins mentioned is that when you're feeling overwhelmed, you tend to just have a bunch of stuff in your head that's just impeding your ability to focus and get anything done. So you have to dump all of that onto a piece of paper. And the best way to do this is just to start writing down every single thing that comes to your mind. It can be, something that someone said to you. It can be something that you actually have to do. It can be literally anything that's just in your head that you need to get out, because if you don't do that, then you won't have any space where you can actually start adding stuff in that you know is useful for you or is helpful for you in some way. So I usually spend about 5 minutes just writing every single thing down. And once I have that list, I take a second to look at it, and then I circle 3 items that are the most important out of all of the items on that list. And not only that, but I also look at the other items that I didn't circle and try to figure out which category they're part of. So you're taking a minute to prioritize, your task by selecting the top 3, and also looking at everything else on that list and trying to figure out which part of my life does this fit into, which category does it fit into. So just by taking the time to write down all of these things on a piece of paper, I immediately get a sense of relief, and my brain fog also starts to clear up drastically. So I've noticed that at this point in the process, I'm starting to feel a lot better about what I need to get done, but I still don't have the motivation to actually get up and start doing it. So in order to make it easier to get started on one of the items on my list, I've been using this strategy called taking the first step, which is essentially just taking one of the items or one of the tasks that I have to complete and breaking it down to the point where it's the most basic action possible that I could take to get started on that specific task. So for example, the task could be to write a report, like let's say like a 5,000 word report or something. And the first thing that I would need to do is literally just open up my computer and open up Microsoft Word. By the time I had Microsoft Word open and I see that cursor blinking on the page, the next step I could tell myself is just write 5 words or write 1 sentence. And I keep repeating this process until I naturally start to pick up momentum and the entire project itself seems a lot more doable. But if I'm having a really difficult time with building up momentum, I'll start to narrate what I'm actually doing. And I know this sounds really strange, but it helps a lot, especially like for this example in particular. If I'm writing a paper, I'll literally tell myself, I am typing. on Microsoft Word. If I'm just getting super distracted, if my brain is thinking about like a bunch of random stuff, I'll just say exactly what I'm doing. It gives me the ability to override the random thoughts that I'm having and start to align what I'm thinking about with what I'm actually doing. So as my momentum continues to pick up, I'm usually able to complete the 3 items that I've circled on my list and continue to go on to do other things that I need to get done for that day. And at the end of the day, I take some time to ask myself why I was feeling overwhelmed. Are there specific patterns that I've noticed in myself that get me into this state? Are there habits that I need to get rid of or cut out that can reduce the amount of times that I actually end up feeling overwhelmed? And is there anything in my life that I'm putting a lot of time and attention towards that isn't really providing a lot of value in the long run? So these are the steps in the process that I've been following to stop feeling overwhelmed at any given moment in time. And it starts from taking a second to return to the present moment, doing a quick check-in on myself, and then jumping into the brain dump, prioritizing the top 3 things that I need to get done, and then taking the first step towards completing one of the items that I've circled on my list, and finally spending some time at the end of the day to reflect. Although this is a process that I've found to be really helpful for myself, I think there are a lot of concepts in here, such as the brain dump and taking some time to reflect at the end of the day, that can be applied to anyone's situation and is really useful, especially if you've been feeling overwhelmed over the past couple days, couple weeks, couple months, etc. It's just something that can be used at any point in time to really make you feel ready to go. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful in some way. This is my second video. I'm looking forward to the next videos that I'll be creating. All right, take care. Peace out.